Hello, welcome back to A Case of Books. Today I want to talk to you about books on my bag, particularly the new Readers Awards, which is a new part of the campaign which launched this year. There are 5 categories which I'm going to run through, and then I'm going to stop for a little bit longer on the fiction. Now, first up, the 6 books on the non-fiction shortlist. Now, I'm afraid I haven't actually read any of these, so I can't give you my pick for favourite, but there's lots of books that lots of people love. I would say I would probably read The Mary Beard first, just because I love her. Next up, Kids YA, and I have read all of these books, so I can actually tell you which ones I like, which is all of them. But if I did have to pick one, it would be one by Sarah Crossan. There is a reason why it has won all the prizes. Next up is the biography and autobiography category. I'm afraid this is another one where I'm slightly lacking in knowledge. The one I have read, The Last Act of Love by Kathy Rensenbrink, though, is an extraordinary book that I would highly recommend. And I'm really intrigued by At the Existentialist Cafe by Sarah Bakewell as well. Next up is the award for Breakthrough Author, and there are 8 authors in contention with this, and it is a rather tough category. From those I've read, I think I'd have to go with Han Kang to win. I love The Vegetarian, which is mentioned here, but I thought her book that came out at the start of this year, Human Acts, was really something special. And now onto fiction, the category I actually feel like maybe I know what I'm talking about a little bit more. Having said that, I am going to start with the one book I haven't read in this category, and that's The Lonely by Andrew Michael Hurley. My excuse is that it's scary, and I don't like scary books, but it won the Costa Book Award, and I know a lot of people who really love it. Because I haven't read it, I am going to instead read you the first paragraph. It had certainly been a wild end to the autumn. On the heath, a gale stripped the glorious blaze of colour from Kenwood to Parliament Hill in a matter of hours, leaving several old oaks and beeches dead. Mist and silence followed, and then, after a few days, there was only the smell of rotting and bonfires. Next up is a debut novel by Joanna, The Trouble with Goats and Sheep. This is really charming and readable, but it also has a real dark thread through it. It's about small communities, secrets, growing up, all kind of centred around a mystery story. Next up is a book that I've not made any secret out of how much I enjoyed, and it's The Muse by Jessie Burton, which featured in one of my summer favourites videos. I absolutely love this story of art and identity and finding your place in the world, and I also really love the layers in the story about art and creation and how we decide what makes good art. Next up is the Bailey's Prize shortlisted The Green Road by Anne Enright. I really enjoyed this, although it never connected with me emotionally in the way that I know it did for other people. It's a beautifully written look at family. It's very poignant and it's very insightful on difficult family relationships. Up next is another book I really love by one of my favourite authors, Maggie O'Farrell, This Must Be the Place. O'Farrell is such a beautiful observer of human behaviour, and her books just strike this beautiful balance between lovely lyrical writing and real emotional weight. And this is my favourite of her books, apart from perhaps her debut, After You'd Gone. And last on the list is Max Porter's debut, the completely unique Grief is the Thing with Feathers. It's a heartbreaking but ultimately hopeful book about grief and family, inspired by Ted Hughes' Crow poems, and it's really quite remarkable. So those are the 6 books on the shortlist, and it's pretty tough to call a winner. I would be torn between the Jessie Burton and Max Porter, and I think I would probably go for the Muse if push came to shove. You can vote for all of the categories and a write-in Reader's Choice Award at the National Book Tokens website. We're coming up to the last weekend of voting. It closes on Monday, so be sure to vote before then. Do let me know in the comments your favourites, and please remember to like the video and subscribe.